Could the Chargers potentially cut wide receiver Mike Williams in order to save $20 million into the cap? Find out this and more here on Charger Syndicate. What's going on, you guys? Jake Silva here on Charger Syndicate, giving you all the best Chargers news. If it is your first time, I encourage all of you guys to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button to keep you up to date on future and past videos here on everything Chargers news and more. This topic, we're going to be talking about Mike Williams, potentially the Chargers looking to cut him as rumors begin to build and build. Mike Williams last season, as you know, who was decimated yet again with another injury and forced him out for the entirety of the 2023 season. A hurtful injury for the Chargers moving forward with their offense, and including many other decimated injuries on the offensive roster. Mike Williams, as you know, signed a 3-year contract worth $60 million altogether, getting him paid $20 million per year. Mike Williams had been such a big standout for the Chargers after the 2021 season and where the contract extension started to thrive from. Now, Mike Williams, the former number 7 overall pick in the 2017 NFL draft, basically showed a lot of promises, but then in the end, decimated by injuries all throughout his entirety of his career, started to now become a liability in the Chargers cap, and not to mention his availability on the roster. Mike Williams is very talented, and he's very productive when he is healthy, which has always been the narrative. However, with Williams out, there's no deep threat for the Chargers, and we saw the worst of that all throughout the 23 season. Mike Williams does serve for many purposes that helps with not only just being Keenan Allen being the only target that Justin Herbert has been throwing to, but at the same time, it's a perfect decoy situation with the Chargers offense, knowing that they needed a deep ball threat wide receiver. They also needed somebody that was going to eventually come up in clutch plays, which Mike Williams has over the years with the Chargers roster. And as of right now, this is kind of hard because of the case that the Chargers underperformed. They spent a lot of money on defense, and now they're going to have to shed over some money in the cap. In this situation, potentially, if the Chargers cannot get a trade deal done for Mike Williams to end up getting some draft capital and at the same time shed money in the cap, the best idea would be to just completely release him and then take $20 million off of the $35 million currently that's in the over payroll. So one thing for the Chargers and a pro that I could basically put on of cutting a guy like Mike Williams is number one is Mike Williams. We've seen that his cap at $20 million could very much relieve the stress for Charger fans and of course for the organization. Mike Williams, we know he's very talented, and we know he hasn't been in the league for very, very long. He's already been in his 7th season, but at the same time, you're paying a guy that much, you're hoping his availability is going to be the biggest benefactor for the Chargers moving forward. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case since he has been drafted by the team. Even though he only had 2 impactful seasons back in 2018 and in 2021, where in 2018, he had over 1,000 receiving yards, 10 touchdown catches, and had 43 receptions as a part of that big breakout year. And in 2021, that got him the contract extension. He had at least 76 catches with 1,146 yards and also scored 9 times. We know that he can be a productive wide receiver, but what's his availability? That has always been the question. And that is the second part of it, is injuries that he has decimated all throughout his entire 7-year career with the Chargers has been the biggest issue. They want to have a guy that is very much available and also improves every single week, and a guy that could basically run the deep routes in order to kind of give a little bit of that leeway for Keenan Allen, knowing he's one of the best route runners that the Chargers have, but he doesn't have to solely be the only target Justin Herbert throws to, but at least somebody that's out there as a decoy and could give many different possibilities and many different explosive plays for Justin Herbert to throw the ball deep downfield. Mike Williams, we know the con of basically releasing him is, number one, is there's no draft capital that's going to be involved. Now, we know a lot of this is they're hoping that they could have at the very least got late round picks, maybe about 1 or 2, possibly between rounds 4 through 7. But unfortunately, because of the injury history, it's not going to happen for the Chargers to end up potentially moving away Mike Williams. The only best thing that they could do is potentially cut him, but that also means that he is open to many different organizations that are out there that could use a deep ball threat in Mike Williams. It sucks for the Chargers to have to kind of come up to this crossroad, but knowing that many of the cap casualties, as he's one of them, is going to be one of those things that Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh will have to end up working through. But we do think this might be a good thing for both sides because of the fact that the Chargers are going to basically release $20 million in the cap. So the 35 now becomes $15 million that they'd have to get rid of. And at the same time, this opens up for the question of who's going to get cut first or traded away, Joey Bosa or Khalil Mack. My hope is I hope that the Chargers end up retaining Khalil Mack, but that'll be for a different video for a different time. However, this now gives them open possibilities. We've already seen Corey Linsley do his part where his restructured contract helped the Chargers to relieve at least $10 million out of the 45 they started with to get to this $35 million cap hit point. But if they release Mike Williams, this now becomes from 35 to 15 million while shedding away $20 million of that cap. I love Mike Williams. I love every moment and every highlight that he's given for the Chargers over the course of the 7 seasons that he's been a part of this organization. But as usual, business is business. And the Chargers want a guy that's going to end up being available, a guy that's going to be reliable, and somebody who's going to be a very huge threat as a secondary receiver for Justin Herbert and to, at the very least, get a ton of the workload off of Keenan Allen and that entirety of the wide receiver room. So Mike Williams, if this is ever the case, I hope the absolute best for him, and I know that he will definitely be productive wherever he may go. I will always remember all of the memorable catches and the memorable hits and highlights that he left for all of us Charger fans. Even the one where that was the dagger that showed we can play against Kansas City years ago in 2018 when he had Phillip Rivers as his quarterback. So, unfortunately, if it comes down to this crossroad, we wish the best for him, but at the same time, he'll be doing the Chargers a favor, which will make things a lot easier for what potentially the next cap casualty will be moving forward. That's going to do it here for me, guys. I appreciate you guys checking out this video. And also, like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you guys can keep up to date with many other videos that are yet to come. This is Jake Silva signing off here on Charger Syndicate, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Take care, you guys.